103.7 WTIP and Cable Channel 7 welcome you into Financially Speaking with Jim Taunton. Find us live on radio, TV, the IBX Media app, and on YouTube. Just search Financially Speaking NC or get the link at WTIPFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genoa Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
Welcome to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, your host for the next 30 minutes. And I'm glad you're here. It wouldn't be much of a program without listeners. And I'd love for you to call tonight with a financially related question. The number is 252-797. That's the number of the office. 252-561-TALK. 561-8255. 561-8255. And if you call with a financially related question, your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two in Altavola. I'll even pay the tip. Great place to eat. I'd love to send you there. So call. We're not going to break quite yet, but during that first break, give us a call, and we'll take your call first when we come back. We got a mess going on with our air traveling system. Air traffic controllers are staying home. They're actually sending 10% of them home, and you know that's gonna hurt. It really is. They need to get this thing fixed. I tell you, I almost feel like we should send all the congressmen out of office and elect all new ones. It's broken, absolutely broken. You know, you listened to a replay of this program last week, and I'm sorry for that, but I was taking my 92-year-old dad to Alabama to see his sisters. And I'm glad I got it done last week, because this week is going to be tough for air travel, no doubt about that. And I had questioned last week even giving it a shot, but we did and made the round trip, and we're back in the saddle. So glad to be back here. And again, give us a call with a financially related question during the break, and we'll take your call when we come back. And the number is 252-561-TALK, and I'd love to put your name into the drawing for the dinner for two in Altavola. And I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Ayden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Ayden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Ayden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Jim Taunton back with you. It is November 6th. It's about 6:05 p.m. I'm in the saddle. I'm live, and we do have a caller, according to what the producer tells me. Go ahead, caller. I didn't see a name here, unless your name is caller, which I doubt.
Oh, I came by.
Go right ahead with your question.
My question is, since everything is so up and down in society right now, financially speaking, what would you consider the most secure areas to make an investment in at this time, based on your experience?
Well, secure is kind of a loaded word. Secure probably is not like guaranteed, but it's in that ballpark. And the first thing I would say is, and I was going to hit on this first thing back from the break, so I appreciate the call. The market has been down the last couple of weeks, and we've had some volatility. But it is not fundamental driven. It is sentiment driven. Mm-hmm. And the sentiment has been negative for several reasons, which I'll get into. But sentiment is just a code word for emotion. Mm-hmm. And we don't want emotions to affect a long-term investment strategy. And for example, I've heard so many pundits, so-called experts, talk about the tech sector being a bubble and being similar to what happened back in 99, 2001, 2002. And it just makes me laugh because I don't know if they were alive back then. I was, and I handled clients' money through that. 2002, actually, May of 2002 is one of the two times I've actually sold advisory clients completely out of the market, out of stocks and into cash temporarily. So I know what it was like. Mm-hmm. But that 45%-ish downturn over a 2-year period was caused by a bubble. But that bubble was due to the fact that the internet companies that were being developed at that time had no earnings. None. Right. No earnings. They were brand new companies. They weren't making money. They had ideas, and people were buying the stock because of the idea.
They were buying the stock out of hope.
That's right. They were hoping for the company to do well and make money, and hopefully their stock would go up. But that turned sour, and people began to sell because there were no earnings. There was nothing fundamentally sound about these companies. Right now, the tech companies we're talking about that are leading the market, the NVIDIAs, the Qualcomms, the Taiwan Semiconductors, so forth. These companies have significant earnings. They're actually making product. Companies in 99 through 2002 were not making product at all. They were just ideas.
Situation.
That's right.
And what you're talking about is this actual production-proven element that's going on now.
It is, very much so. And matter of fact, NVIDIA's earnings are going through the roof, and the next time they report, guess what? They're going to beat the estimates. They are for quite some time.
Is that usually a good sign?
Say again?
I said, is that usually a good sign when they beat the earnings?
Oh, it is. It is. It means they're doing better than even people have projected them to do. So I'm really not concerned at all about the market. We're not selling. We're buying. We're buying dips. And we've had a nice dip the last 2 weeks. I think it's an excellent buying opportunity. November seasonally is a very strong month for the market. Moving into December, if we get a Santa Claus effect, December will be strong. I believe we'll recover what we've lost in the last couple of weeks and more in November and December, barring, of course, some unforeseen event. It's hard to plan for.
Well, what you say makes perfectly good sense to me.
Well, I appreciate that, and I thank you for calling. It was an excellent call, an excellent question.
And you saw me
and your name is, if you gave your phone number to the...
I was your 1:00 appointment.
I knew you were Mary. I knew who you were when I heard your voice. You're very distinctive, and I appreciate your taking the time to call me. Very much so.
I'll take the time to call, and and I look forward to y'all getting back with me later next week.
Will do. Thanks, Mary. Bye-bye.
And I'll let you go so that you can continue what you're doing.
Well, thanks a lot. You take
and
care.
I hope your father is doing well. You said he was 90 years old.
He is. He is doing as well as can be expected at 92.
Well, I mean,
Thank you.
92 is still alive. That could be that's a good thing,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it. But he's still there, and he still has you to he can benefit
Yep.
from your help. And that's
Maybe I got some of
the
those
precious thing
genes.
about it.
I'm hoping.
Well, I'll let you go.
Okay,
Have
thanks.
a good one. You're
You
welcome.
too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Nice lady. And hopefully she'll become a client. All right. I got the name. You heard me give a first name, and I'll have her information, Dom. So just write down her first name, Mary, and we're not going to give out last names on the air. And we'll put her in the drawing for the dinner for two at Octavola. I'm sure she has eaten at Octavola. Most people in Greenville have, and it's a great place to eat. All right. We're waiting for another caller. The number is 561-TALK, 561-8255. Call me with a financially related question. Your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two at Octavola. And again, Mary's question led right into what I was going to start the program with anyway, which was comparing what we're in now versus what we were in back in 99 through 2002, because many pundits have alluded to that era, and it's nothing like it. What we have now is nothing like it. We have great earnings, folks. The vast majority of companies are reporting absolutely kick the door down earnings. So what we're going through now is not fundamental driven. It's not about how much companies are making. It's about sentiment. And again, sentiment is nothing more than a code word for emotions. And that's how a lot of people invest. The market is really funny to watch sometimes. One day you're down 2%, the next day you're up 2%. People need to understand that just because somebody says or does something on TV, that doesn't make these great companies that you've invested money in worth less or worth more from day to day. You don't let these things affect your long-term investment strategy. Now, one of the things that has hurt the sentiment in the market is, let me find, Michael Burry, I believe is his name. Let me just, I printed off some stuff. Is it Michael Burry? Yeah, Michael Burry. If you remember, he was the one that actually predicted the mortgage crisis in 2007 to 2009, which caused the Great Recession. And so that was a good call. He actually bought puts on mortgage companies and other things and made a ton of money. Got famous. There's actually a movie made about that situation, and he's in it. There's a character. His character is in it, I should say. Somebody plays him, an actor plays him. But so, people know his name, and when he makes statements, negative statements, he bought puts on NVIDIA and Palantir, I should say. And people said, he's buying puts on two of the market leaders. Things must be going south. And so people began to sell a little bit. And no, he's not right this time. And his positions, by the way, that he took in those companies are in the red currently. So he's lost money on that deal. And I hope he loses a lot more, to be honest with you. So, we're looking for actually the ship to be righted sooner rather than later. Bottom line is machines are in control right now. All this pressure on the market is
caller,
coming
John.
from. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, John, for interrupting the monologue. I appreciate that a whole lot. Go right ahead with your question.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve, John. How about you?
I'm great, sir. Thank you. I'd like to talk a little bit about inflation because all you hear nowadays is people wanting to say that the inflation's not coming down. Inflation is not something that actually comes down. It is something that's created by the government, and you can reduce prices and costs in some areas, but as far as the last 4 or 5 years, the inflation is already baked into the process now. When you raise wages and raise all kind of other issues, you cannot back them down. It's just frustrating to hear people say, that Trump's not reducing inflation.
No, matter of fact, it's evident in the fact that the Fed's target is 2% inflation. So, low inflation is not bad at all. As a matter of fact, we need it, and that just means your economy is growing. So,
I agree.
The problem is, I believe the Fed's target is too low. I don't think 2% is reasonable. I think we should have a little bit higher inflation rate. But along the lines of what you were saying, even if we get the inflation rate where we need it, and right now it's about 2.9%. We haven't had a reading in a while because of the government shutdown, but last reading is 2.9 to 3, somewhere in that range. So it's certainly not out of control at all. But even if we had a 2% inflation rate, prices aren't going to go back to where they were. That would be deflation. And we don't want deflation. That's the worst thing we can have with the economy. I'd rather have inflation higher than we want it than have deflation. So the only way that prices would go back to where they were a year, 2 years, 3 years ago is for them to go down. And that definitely is not a good thing.
I agree. Once a price goes up, I'm in the construction business, it never goes back down. It may come back a little bit, but it never goes back to where it was.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
All right, sir. Well, thank you very much.
Yes. I hope you gave your phone
night.
number to the producer when you called in, did you not?
I did, sir. Thank you.
Good. Okay, you're in that drawing for the dinner too. Where'd you call from, by the way?
I'm in Stokes.
All the way
right
out
outside
to
Greenville.
Stokes. Wow.
Yeah, I'll get you out here loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you called. I appreciate it very much.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Honestly, the economy is in good shape. We have we're losing some jobs, but still the unemployment rate is low from an historical standpoint. And again, earnings of companies are good. Companies are expanding. There's really nothing fundamentally wrong with what's going on in the economy right now. And there's some folks that I listen to and respect in my circles. Gentlemen I've had on the program many times, Louis Navellier is one of the top experts in investments, markets, economy. And he believes we're going to have a 5% GDP growth rate next year. 5% GDP growth rate. Now, understand that a large part of our growth rate in GDP right now is related to AI spending and AI expansion and purchasing, CapEx expenditure on filling out the AI structure. So, but that's fine. That's all part of it. But a 5% GDP growth rate is absolutely phenomenal. And I've shared on this program many times that what DOGE did and is doing certainly is needful. We need to eliminate as much waste and fraud in our government as possible, but you can cut all you want, but it's like spitting in the ocean. What we've got to do to get ourselves out of this debt problem and deficit problem is grow the economy, and that expands the tax base, creates more tax dollars for the government, and going to a 5% GDP growth next year certainly will help that, no question about it. We've gone right through the halfway point of the program. So let's go to another break, and that'll give you time to pick up the phone and dial the number. The number is, of course, 252-561-TALK, 561-8255. Call me with a financially related question, please. If you've been listening to this program for years and you never have called in, you wanted to, but just never dialed the number, dial the number tonight. I'd love to have a caller. 561-8255. I'll see you in a couple minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking, and we had someone call during the break, and his or her name, go either way, is Jamie from Elizabeth City. Boy, signal goes up northeast, very strong.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jamie, for calling. Go right ahead with your question.
Thank you. Yes, sir. So a couple years ago when I was an undergrad, you know how you get refund checks, and instead of putting it in a traditional bank account, I decided to, put it in my Robinhood account. And it was a couple of $1,000. So off and on, instead of I try to day trade, I guess you would call it, but not really day trade because Robinhood only lets you day trade 5 times if you have less than 25,000. I didn't have that much, but so over time, it added up because I was trading between 5,000 and sometimes a couple thousand at a time in one stock. So a couple years later, I got a thing in the mail from the IRS. Basically, I guess they added up each of my individual trades, and they're saying that I owe like $50,000, $60,000 worth of taxes. Is that how that works?
Wow.
And then when I try to call the IRS, no, I actually lost money. I lost a lot of money. Actually, I stopped doing it. So I wasn't expecting to hear anything back.
You wouldn't owe any taxes if you lost money. What they're saying is, when you sold, and you evidently sold a number of times, you sold a number of times with a profit, and there's a capital gain on that. If you buy stock and sell it for more than you paid, you will pay a 15% capital gains tax on the gain that you reaped, that you realized. If you bought a stock and are holding it over a number of years and it goes up, 1,000%, you still don't pay tax on that gain until you sell it. But this moment you sell it, that year, that capital gain, you have to pay tax on it at 15%. Now, if they're saying $50,000, if you divide $50,000 by 15%, let me do a quick calculation here. Divided by 0.15. They're saying you made $333,000 over the course of your trading. Does that sound reasonable?
I couldn't have made that because it was like the same $5,000 or $6,000 over and over again.
You should have no problem disproving that. But you need an accountant working for you in that situation for sure. And if you've got all of your statements or have access to them, and maybe you can print them all out for the accountant to look at, that'll help them as well. But it really doesn't sound like you have a problem.
For sure.
I'm glad you called me. Where'd
you
call from?
Super worried. I'm out here in Elizabeth City.
Oh, great. Yeah, I know it worries when you get a letter from the IRS. Anytime I get an envelope that has Internal Revenue Service on it, or North Carolina Department of Revenue for that matter, I swallow really hard until I find out what it's about. So I don't think you've got a problem, but you just need somebody that knows how to deal with the IRS on your behalf.
Yeah, because I can't even get in touch with anybody in the IRS.
Yeah, well, they'll know how to do it. Get your CPA. Sure. It'll be worth your money to get that worry off your mind.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you as well, sir. Have a great night.
You too. And by the way, you're a smart guy. To take that money early on and invest it rather than just stick it into some checking account or savings account. So I certainly admire your idea of doing that, of taking a little bit of risk with it and seeing if you could grow the money over time versus it sitting there and doing almost absolutely nothing. And, presentations that I do at schools, classes, things like that, I'll almost always say you'll get nowhere in life without taking acceptable risk. I'm not talking about jumping off a cliff and just hoping somebody catches you on the way down. That's not acceptable risk. Acceptable risk is having the knowledge and the understanding of what all the outcomes are and making a good, sound decision. And you do that with the help of an investment professional, basically in the financial area. But in any area of life, even relationships, you're not going to get anywhere unless you take acceptable risk. I mean, telling somebody you love them for the first time is a risk, is it not? But it's an acceptable risk because you'll never know if they love you back until you do that. And there's so many areas of life that it applies. So take acceptable risk with your money if you want to get anywhere. Don't stick it in a hole in the ground called a CD or a savings account or a money market fund and leave it. But get you an investment professional that can at least assist you in getting that money in the right places. And that's why I'm paid the big bucks. And my contact information, let me give that out real quick before I start hearing that music in my ear. My number at the office is 252-756-4700, 756-4700. My email is jim@Taunton, my last name, financial.com. So jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. And my website is jtauntonfinancial.com. And I'd love to talk to you. First meeting with me is absolutely at no cost or obligation whatsoever. I do have music in my ear. That means we're out of time. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate that a lot. Thanks for the calls, all you callers out there. I wish all of you could win the dinner for two at Tavola. And as always, this is Jim Taunton helping you make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.